The perfect smile. The gilded cage. In the heart of Richmond, Virginia, some secrets are worth more than gold. And some marriages are built on nothing but secrets. Dr. Marcus Whitfield had the perfect smile. He'd spent 30 years perfecting smiles for others, building one of the most successful dental practices in Virginia. But the smile he wore at home? That was his masterpiece of deception. Victoria Whitfield, 52, elegant and composed, sits at the marble kitchen island with her iPad, reviewing inventory reports from her stores. She's dressed impeccably in a cream silk blouse. Marcus, 54, silver-haired and handsome in an expensive suit, pours coffee. Big day today. The awards ceremony is at 7. You're still coming, right? Not looking up, she responds, of course. Dentist of the Year for Virginia. How could I miss my husband's crowning achievement? I was thinking we could invite the girls. Make it a family thing. Madison's in Atlanta for a conference, and Sophia has midterms. It'll just be us. Just like old times. Finally looking at him, a slight smile, exactly like old times. Their eyes meet. Marcus shifts uncomfortably and checks his watch. I should go. First appointment's at 8. Marcus? That dental assistant you hired last year. Jessica, is it? Marcus freezes, coffee cup halfway to his lips. Jennifer. Why? Just curious. You mention her a lot lately. She must be very efficient. She's competent. That's all. He kisses Victoria on the cheek and leaves quickly. Victoria's smile vanishes the moment he's gone. She pulls out her phone and dials. Rachel? It's Victoria. Are you still coming by the flagship store today? Good. We have a lot to discuss. A sleek, modern office. Jennifer Hayes, 28, attractive with perfect teeth, stands close to Marcus in his private office. Too close. Touching his arm, you seem tense this morning. Victoria asked about you. Stepping back, what did you tell her? That you're competent. Nothing more. Is that all I am to you? Competent? Pulling her close, you know that's not true. Tonight, after the ceremony, I'll come to your place. I promise. You said that last week. This time I mean it. They kiss. Neither notices the reflection in the glass partition, a figure with a phone, recording. Rachel, thank you for coming in person. Hesitant, nervous, Mrs. Whitfield, I wasn't sure if I should call. But you've always been good to me, and I can't keep this to myself anymore. Calmly, the affair with my husband. Rachel's face goes pale. You know? I suspected. You're confirming it. How long? Sitting down, tears forming, 8 months. I swear, Mrs. Whitfield, I tried to end it. Multiple times. But he kept saying. He said you two were basically separated, that it was just a matter of time before the divorce that was never coming. Rachel, please, I need you to be honest with me. Everything. And I mean everything. Rachel takes a deep breath. He's not just with me. There's his dental assistant, Jennifer. I found out 3 weeks ago. He told me he loved me, that I was special. And then I saw them together at a hotel in Charlottesville. I followed him. Victoria remains perfectly still, her face a mask. Continuing, anger building, he's been using me, Mrs. Whitfield. Using both of us. And there's more. He has money hidden. He talks about it when he drinks. Bank accounts in the Cayman Islands, some in Switzerland. He brags about it. Says he's building a nest egg for when the time is right. He even showed me statements once on his phone. Millions, Mrs. Whitfield, millions. Very quietly, does he know that you know all this? I don't think so. After I saw him with Jennifer, I've been gathering information. I know I should have come to you sooner. I know you could fire me, and you'd have every right. Holding up her hand, Rachel, I'm not going to fire you. In fact, I'm going to give you a raise. And a promotion. Because you and I are going to work together on something very important. ACT2, the Alliance. Victoria opens a locked drawer in her desk and pulls out a leather portfolio. What I'm about to show you stays between us. Completely confidential. Do you understand? Nodding, yes, absolutely. Victoria opens the portfolio, revealing bank statements, property deeds, business documents. My husband believes we have a comfortable life. A nice house, successful businesses, a healthy retirement fund. What he doesn't know is that Whitfield & Company is worth approximately $47 million. The 4 stores, the real estate they sit on, the inventory, the brand value. All in my name alone. Rachel's eyes widen. Continuing, I also have investment accounts he's never seen. Property in North Carolina and Florida. all established before we married, and carefully maintained through separate accounts, separate attorneys. My mother taught me something when I was young. Never let anyone, especially a man, know the full extent of your power. He has no idea? None. We have joint accounts for household expenses, and his dental practice is his own. But my real wealth? It's invisible to him, just as his hidden accounts were meant to be invisible to me. Victoria closes the portfolio. The difference is, I've been careful, strategic. He's been arrogant and sloppy, bragging to his mistresses, leaving digital trails. The question is, are you willing to help me use his carelessness against him? What do you need me to do? With a slight smile, tell me everything you know. Every conversation about money, every hint about where it's hidden, every boast, every slip. And keep your relationship going with him, just for a little while longer. Can you do that? Rachel swallows hard, then nods with determination. He deserves this, for lying to both of us, for making me think I was special when I was just convenient. You are special, Rachel. You're about to become the most valuable ally I have. Victoria, I've been your attorney for 15 years. I helped you structure your business holdings to be divorce-proof. If you're here now, it's time. Patricia, you're certain? Multiple affairs, hidden offshore accounts, and according to my source, he's been siphoning money from our joint business account, the one we use for household expenses. Small amounts, but consistent. 500 here, 1,000 there. Making notes, for the affairs? Gifts for his girlfriends, hotel rooms, a piece of jewelry here and there. He thinks I don't notice. You notice everything. Smiling, my mother's other lesson. All right, here's what we're looking at. Virginia is an equitable distribution state, not community property. The court divides assets fairly, not necessarily equally. Your business, being separate property established before the marriage and maintained separately, will remain entirely yours. And his practice? Also his separate property. But the joint accounts, the house, the retirement accounts in both names, those are marital property. We split those. And his hidden accounts? Leaning forward with interest, if we can prove he hid assets intending to defraud you in a divorce, the court will not be pleased. Not pleased at all. How much evidence do you have? I'm working on that. But Patricia, I want this done right. I want it done quietly. And I want him to never see it coming until the moment I choose. What did you have in mind? Leaning back, he's receiving an award tonight. Dentist of the Year for Virginia. There will be colleagues, press, important people. What if, at the peak of his professional triumph, his personal life collapsed? Raising an eyebrow, that's theatrical. He's a performer. He deserves a final show. Victoria sits across from David Chen, 52, Executive Director of First National Bank, impeccably dressed. Victoria, always a pleasure. Though I admit, when you called and said it was urgent. David, we've known each other for what, 12 years? Since you opened your second store and needed the commercial loan. One of the best investments this bank ever made. I've always been transparent with you about my finances. Every account, every transaction, documented and clear. Which is why you're one of our most valued clients. Can the same be said of my husband? David's expression changes slightly. Victoria, you know I can't discuss another client's accounts, even if that client is your husband. What if I told you that Marcus has been moving money offshore? Potentially using accounts at this bank as a staging point? And that in doing so, he may have committed financial fraud? David's face goes very serious. Those are serious allegations. I have a witness who's seen statements. Accounts in the Cayman Islands, Switzerland. Money being transferred out of our joint household account in small increments to avoid suspicion. If you're planning to divorce, I am. Then you'll need to file for financial discovery. Your attorney can subpoena records. But Victoria, if what you're saying is true, there are also federal implications. Banks are required to report certain international transfers. If Marcus has been evading those requirements, I need you to do something for me, David. I need you to freeze any large transfers from Marcus's accounts, effective immediately. Just for 72 hours. Can you do that? Carefully, if I had reason to believe fraudulent activity was occurring, I would have both the authority and the responsibility to temporarily freeze accounts pending investigation. Are you giving me that reason? I'm telling you that within 72 hours, you'll have documented proof of financial misconduct. And David, when this is over, I'll remember who was willing to help protect innocent parties from fraud. David considers this carefully. 72 hours. But Victoria, I'll need that evidence. Real evidence. You'll have it. ACT 3. The trap. He just confirmed he'll come to my apartment after the ceremony. Says he needs to decompress from the stress. I have the recording app ready. Victoria texts back. Perfect. Make sure he talks about the money. Get him comfortable. A little wine always loosened his tongue. Marcus enters the bedroom, adjusting his bow tie. You look beautiful. Thank you. So do you. Very distinguished. Are you feeling okay? You've been different today. Different how? I don't know. Calm. Too calm, maybe. I'm proud of you, Marcus. Tonight is your night. You've worked hard for this. You deserve recognition. Something in her tone makes him uneasy. Victoria, we should go. Don't want you to be late for your own ceremony. Grand Hotel Richmond, a glittering event. About 200 people, dentists, dental professionals, industry representatives. A stage with podium. Cocktail hour in progress. Marcus works the room, shaking hands, laughing. Victoria stands nearby, gracious and smiling, the perfect wife. Jennifer is there, dressed modestly, trying to blend in as staff. She catches Marcus's eye across the room. He smiles at her discreetly. Rachel enters, dressed elegantly. She spots Victoria, who gives her a subtle nod. Rachel approaches Marcus. Dr. Whitfield, congratulations. Surprised, Rachel. I didn't know you were coming. Mrs. Whitfield invited me. She thought it would be nice to have representation from the store at the ceremony. We're all proud of you. She touches his arm slightly. Marcus glances around nervously. I'll see you later? As we discussed? Quietly, I'll be waiting. She walks away. Marcus watches her, then looks across the room at Jennifer, who's glaring at Rachel with barely concealed jealousy. Victoria observes all of this with a small, satisfied smile. The lights dim. A host takes the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present the Virginia Dental Association's highest honor, Dentist of the Year. This award recognizes not just clinical excellence, but community involvement, innovation, and dedication to the profession. This year's recipient has been nominated by peers across the state. Please welcome Dr. Marcus Whitfield. Applause. Marcus takes the stage, beaming. Victoria stands and applauds, her face a mask of wifely pride. Thank you. Thank you all so much. This is truly the highlight of my career. I've spent 30 years in dentistry, and every day I'm reminded why I love what I do. It's about giving people confidence. Giving them their smile back. He looks at Victoria. None of this would be possible without my incredible wife, Victoria. She's built an empire of her own while supporting my dreams. Victoria, would you join me up here? The crowd applauds. Victoria rises gracefully and walks to the stage. She takes Marcus's hand. They stand together, the perfect couple. Cameras flash. Taking the microphone, surprising everyone. Thank you, darling. And thank you all for being here to honor my husband. Marcus, you've always been so dedicated. So focused. So very busy. There's something in her tone. Marcus's smile falters slightly. Continuing, in fact, you've been so busy that I thought tonight, we should recognize everyone who's made your success possible. Could Jennifer Hayes please join us on stage? She's Marcus's dental assistant and has been absolutely indispensable to his practice. Jennifer's eyes go wide. She shakes her head slightly, but people are looking at her now. Reluctantly, she comes to the stage. And also Rachel Morrison, regional manager at my flagship store. Rachel, come on up. Rachel, following the script they'd planned, joins them on stage. Now Marcus is standing between Victoria, Jennifer, and Rachel. He's beginning to sweat. Addressing the crowd, I think it's important we acknowledge all the people who support successful professionals. The people who work behind the scenes. The people who keep things running smoothly. Don't you agree, Marcus? Forced smile, of course. Yes, Marcus, actually, I need to confess something in front of all these witnesses. I've been keeping a secret from you. A big one. The room goes silent. Marcus's face is pale. Do you remember when we got married, and I had my little dress shop? The one location in that strip mall? Of course, you always assumed it grew modestly. 4 locations now, doing well enough. What you don't know is that Whitfield & Company is worth $47 million. All of it in my name. All of it carefully protected. All of it invisible to you for 30 years. Gasps from the audience. Marcus stares at her, unable to speak. Turning to the audience, I bring this up because my husband has also been keeping secrets. Haven't you, Marcus? Secret accounts, secret relationships, secret plans. She looks at Jennifer, then Rachel. Jennifer, would you like to tell everyone how you know my husband? And Rachel, perhaps you'd like to share as well? Jennifer's face crumbles. She runs off the stage. Rachel stands her ground. Into the microphone, I've been having an affair with Dr. Whitfield for 8 months. He told me his marriage was over. He told me I was special. And then I discovered he was also involved with his assistant. And possibly others. The room erupts in whispers. Marcus grabs for the microphone, but Victoria holds it away. Hissing, Victoria, what are you doing? I'm giving you your moment, dear. Your triumph. Your exposure. ACT 4, The Reckoning. Patricia Caldwell enters from the side of the ballroom, walking purposefully toward the stage with a folder in hand. Still at microphone, ladies and gentlemen, this is Patricia Caldwell, my attorney. Patricia, would you like to explain what's in that folder? Patricia climbs the steps to the stage. These are divorce papers, filed this afternoon with the Richmond Circuit Court. Mrs. Whitfield is seeking dissolution of marriage based on adultery. Also included are emergency motions to freeze certain accounts pending investigation of hidden assets. Marcus lunges for the folder, but hotel security, arranged by Victoria, steps forward to block him. To Victoria, you can't do this. You can't humiliate me like this. You've frozen your accounts pending investigation of potential financial fraud. International transfers that weren't properly reported. I have federal banking regulators requesting information. Marcus's face goes from red to pale. He looks around wildly. At Victoria's calm face, at Rachel's defiant expression, at the crowd of colleagues and industry professionals all recording on their phones. Voice breaking, Victoria, please. Not like this. We can talk about this privately. We can. Privately? Like you talked to Jennifer privately? Or Rachel? Or whoever else there may have been? No, Marcus. You chose to build your success in the public eye. It's only fitting that your fall happens here too. She hands the microphone to the shocked host and descends from the stage, walking through the silent crowd with her head high. Rachel follows her. Patricia follows both of them. To Patricia and Rachel as they exit, excellent work, both of you. Phase 1 complete. Victoria sits in her office, coffee in hand, reading morning news on her tablet. Headlines. Prominent dentist exposed in affair scandal at awards ceremony. Virginia Dentist of the Year faces fraud investigation. Rachel enters tentatively. Mrs. Whitfield, do you have a moment? Rachel, please, come in. And it's Victoria now. I think we've moved past formalities. Sitting, I just want to say thank you. And I'm sorry, for my part in all of this. You were manipulated by a skilled manipulator. But you made the right choice in the end. That takes courage. What happens now? Now? Patricia is handling the divorce. It should be relatively quick. Virginia has a 1-year separation requirement for no-fault divorces, but adultery is fault-based. We can move much faster. The bank is cooperating with our forensic accountant to track down all of Marcus's hidden money. The IRS is also interested. Hiding money offshore has tax implications. Will he go to jail? Possibly. Tax evasion, financial fraud, these aren't small matters. But honestly, Rachel, that's up to the federal prosecutors. My goal was simpler. Protect what's mine, expose who he truly is, and make sure he can never do this to anyone again. Her phone buzzes. She glances at it. Speaking of which, that's Patricia. The forensic accountant found 2 more accounts. One in Belize, one in Panama. Marcus was more prolific than even I thought. Do you think he'll fight the divorce? With what money? His accounts are frozen. His reputation is destroyed. And his own carelessness created a documentary record of his fraud. No, Rachel. He won't fight. He can't afford to. There's a knock on the door. Victoria's assistant peeks in. Victoria, there's someone here to see you. Says her name is Jennifer Hayes. Victoria and Rachel exchange glances. Send her in. Jennifer enters, looking haggard. She hasn't slept. Her eyes are red. I know you have no reason to talk to me. I know I don't deserve your time. But I need you to know. I didn't know he was lying to me too. I thought he actually cared about me. Sit down, Jennifer. Jennifer sits hesitantly. You're young. You made a mistake. But you're also complicit in deception, and that has consequences. Starting to cry, I've lost my job. His practice fired me yesterday. And I can't find work anywhere else in Richmond. My name is all over the news. Yes, it is. As is mine. As is Rachel's. The difference is, Rachel chose to make things right. She came to me. She provided evidence. She helped expose a predator. Jennifer looks at Rachel. I didn't know about you. Not until that night at the hotel when you saw us. And I didn't know about you until after I'd already been manipulated for months. Leaning forward, Jennifer, here's what I'm willing to do. You need a job. You need a fresh start. I have a friend who owns a dental practice in North Carolina. Charlotte, far enough away for you to rebuild. I'll make an introduction. She'll give you a fair shot. But you have to be honest with her about what happened. All of it. Stunned. Why would you help me? Because holding grudges is exhausting. And because you're a victim too, even if you don't fully see it yet. But Jennifer, if I ever hear that you've been involved with a married man again, I promise you, my mercy has limits. Wiping tears, thank you. I don't deserve this, but thank you. Patricia and a forensic accountant, Mr. Grayson, sit around a conference table in Patricia Caldwell's office. Charts and documents spread out. Mrs. Whitfield, we've completed our analysis. Your husband hid approximately $4.2 million in offshore accounts over the course of 12 years. How much of that is recoverable? All of it, with cooperation from international banking authorities. The process has already begun. Additionally, the IRS has calculated unpaid taxes on this hidden income at approximately $1.1 million, plus penalties and interest. In the divorce settlement, because this was marital property that Marcus attempted to hide, the court has awarded you the entire amount. Additionally, you'll receive half of the equity in the house, half of his retirement accounts, and half of the value of his dental practice. And his practice? Can it survive this? Unlikely. His malpractice insurance carrier is reviewing his coverage due to the moral character clauses. He's lost most of his staff, and patients are canceling appointments. The practice will probably be sold at auction. You'll get your portion of whatever it sells for. No satisfaction in her voice, just certainty. He built all of this himself. The lies, the betrayals, the arrogance. I simply held up a mirror. Boxes stacked in corners. Victoria is packing up. Madison, 28, and Sophia, 25, her daughters, sit on the couch. Mom, are you sure you want to sell the house? This was never my dream house, sweetheart. It was ours, mine and your father's. Now it's just a reminder. I'm buying a smaller place. A condo downtown. Modern, efficient. Mine. How are you really doing? Victoria stops packing and sits between her daughters. Honestly, I'm relieved. I spent 30 years managing a marriage that was hollow. I loved your father once, girls. I want you to know that. When we met, he was ambitious and charming and I believed in him. But somewhere along the way, he stopped seeing me as a partner and started seeing me as scenery. Part of his perfect life image. We haven't really talked to him since that night. You don't have to choose sides. He's still your father. He's just no longer my husband. Mom, can I ask you something? Why did you hide your money from him? From the beginning? Victoria considers this carefully. My mother grew up poor. Dirt poor. She married my father, who was kind but not ambitious. She watched him make bad business decisions, lose money, fail repeatedly. She told me, Victoria, love is important. But independence is essential. Never put yourself in a position where a man, or anyone, can take everything you've built. So you never trusted Dad? I trusted him with my heart. But not with my future. And it turns out, my instinct was right. The moment he had money, he started hiding it too. The difference is, I was protecting myself. He was preparing to abandon me. Both daughters lean against their mother. You're the strongest person I know. Smiling, I'm just someone who planned ahead. And girls, I want you both to understand something. Be independent. Build your own wealth. Trust in love, yes, but verify everything else. It's not cynical. It's wisdom. 3 months later in Victoria's new condo. A sleek, modern space with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Richmond. Victoria stands on her balcony with a glass of wine. Her phone rings. She answers. Patricia, hello. Voiceover, Victoria, I wanted to let you know. The divorce is final as of today. The judge signed off on everything. It's done. How much did he end up with? Voiceover, his portion of the house sale, his half of the retirement accounts, minus what he owes in taxes and penalties, about $180,000. He'll be starting over essentially from scratch. And my assets? Voiceover, completely intact. Plus your portion of the marital assets, including the recovered offshore money. You're walking away with everything you built, everything you protected, and half of what you both accumulated during the marriage. The court was very clear. His fraud meant he deserved no equitable consideration. Thank you, Patricia, for everything. Voiceover, Victoria, can I ask you something? That night at the awards ceremony, Did you always plan to expose him so publicly? Smiling, there's an old saying, before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. But I wasn't seeking revenge, Patricia. I was seeking justice. And sometimes, justice requires an audience. A 5th location grand opening banner hangs outside a new Whitfield & Company store in Virginia Beach. Victoria cuts a ribbon, surrounded by press, her daughters, Rachel, now Vice President of Operations, and loyal staff. Mrs. Whitfield, after everything you went through publicly, how does it feel to be expanding your business? It feels like exactly where I'm supposed to be. My business was never dependent on anyone else's success or approval. It was built on hard work, smart decisions, and the support of incredible people. She looks at Rachel, people who chose integrity when it mattered most. What's next for Victoria Whitfield? Smiling genuinely, growth, in business and in life. I'm launching a mentorship program for young women entrepreneurs, teaching them what my mother taught me. Independence isn't just financial, it's psychological. And no one should ever hold your future hostage. Epilogue. The legacy. Victoria now operates from a penthouse office suite above her flagship store. The walls display photos, her 5 store locations, her daughter's graduations, her mentees' business openings. Rachel enters with a tablet. Victoria, the quarterly reports are exceptional. We're up 34% from this time last year. The Virginia Beach location is outperforming even the flagship. And the mentorship program? 15 women funded so far. 12 businesses launched, 2 more in development. The foundation is gaining national attention. Victoria smiles, looking at a wall where newspaper clippings are framed, not the scandal articles, but the ones that came after. Virginia businesswoman launches foundation for women entrepreneurs, and, from betrayal to empowerment, Victoria Whitfield's second ACT. You know what's funny, Rachel? I spent 30 years of my marriage invisible, playing the supporting role, making myself smaller so he could feel bigger. And now I take up all the space I deserve. Marcus's apartment, across town, a modest 1-bedroom apartment. Marcus Whitfield, looking older and tired, sits at a small kitchen table with his laptop, scrolling through job listings. His phone rings. He answers. Hello? Yes, this is Dr. Whitfield. The position in Roanoke? I see. No, I understand. Yes, I'm aware of the situation. Thank you for considering me anyway. He hangs up. Another rejection. He looks around his small apartment, so different from the mansion he once lived in. A framed photo sits on the counter, him and his daughters when they were young. He picks it up, staring at it. There's a knock at the door. He opens it to find Madison and Sophia. Hi, Dad. Surprised, emotional, girls. Come in, please. I wasn't expecting. We probably should have called first. They enter. The apartment feels even smaller with 3 people in it. An awkward silence. Can I get you anything? Coffee? I don't have much, but... Dad, we're not here for coffee. We're here because we need to talk. Sitting down heavily, I know what you're going to say. I destroyed everything. I hurt your mother. I hurt everyone. I'm a terrible person and a worse father. Actually, that's not what we were going to say. Marcus looks up, surprised. What you did was wrong. The affairs, the lying, the hidden money, all of it. You betrayed Mom, and you embarrassed yourself and all of us. I know, but you're still our father. And we've been talking, and we miss you, Dad. Not the version of you who lied and cheated, but the dad who taught us to ride bikes, who helped us with homework, who made terrible jokes at dinner. We're not saying we're okay with what you did. We're not saying everything goes back to normal. But we're saying, we're willing to try. If you're willing to be honest. Really honest. For the first time in years. Marcus breaks down, tears streaming down his face. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve you too. Probably not, but we love you anyway. That's what family means. Rebuild Summit. Women rising from adversity. When I stood on a stage 3 years ago, it was supposed to be my husband's moment of triumph. Instead, it became the moment I took my life back. Some people called what I did cruel, vindictive, over the top. She pauses, looking out at the audience. But I didn't expose my husband to punish him. I exposed him because secrecy protects predators. Because private confrontations allow powerful men to control the narrative. Because sometimes, the only way to truly be free is to step into the light, even when that light is harsh and unforgiving. Applause ripples through the audience. I want to talk to every woman in this room who's ever made herself smaller. Who's ever hidden her success to protect someone else's ego? Who's ever been told she's too much, too ambitious, too successful, too independent? She leans forward, intense. You are not too much. You are exactly enough. And anyone who can't handle your light doesn't deserve to be in your life. Standing ovation. Victoria waits for it to quiet. 3 years ago, I had a successful business I'd kept secret for decades. Today, I have an empire I'm proud to claim. 3 years ago, I was trapped in a marriage built on lies. Today, I'm free. 3 years ago, I thought financial independence was my only protection. Today, I know that true independence comes from refusing to apologize for your power. She holds up a hand, 5 fingers extended. 5 stores, 50 million in revenue, 15 women funded through our foundation. These aren't just numbers, they're proof that you don't rebuild from betrayal, you rise from it. 5 years after the divorce, Victoria sits on a park bench, feeding pigeons. A figure approaches and sits on the other end of the bench. It's Marcus, older, grayer, humbled. Victoria hears Marcus call her name. Marcus, she says, not surprised. The girls told me you come here sometimes. During your lunch break. I hope it's okay that It's a public park. Marcus looks at his hands. I don't expect forgiveness. I'm not here for that. I wanted you to know that I understand now. What I did, what I lost, what I destroyed. I'm in therapy. Have been for 3 years. I work in a small practice in West Virginia. I make a fraction of what I used to. I live alone. I see the girls once a month if I'm lucky. Victoria states, and Marcus says, and it's what I deserve. All of it. Victoria looks at Marcus. Marcus, do you know what the hardest part was? It wasn't the affairs. It wasn't even the lying. It was the realization that I'd spent 30 years of my life with someone who fundamentally didn't see me. You saw a wife, an accessory, part of your perfect life image. But you never saw me. I see you now. It's too late for that to matter. I know. They sit in silence for a moment. Marcus says, for what it's worth, I'm proud of you. What you've built, the foundation, the stores, the way you've helped so many women. You were always stronger than me. I just couldn't admit it. Victoria standing to leave. Goodbye, Marcus. Marcus asks, will I see you again? At the girls' weddings, probably. At grandchildren's birthdays. We'll be civil. We'll be cordial. But Marcus? The chapter of my life that had you at the center closed the night of your award ceremony. I'm writing new chapters now. Better ones. She walks away. Marcus watches her go. Straight-backed, confident, powerful. He stays on the bench alone. Blank. Underscore, blank. Closing. Victoria Whitfield went on to open 12 stores across Virginia, Maryland, and North Carolina. The Whitfield Foundation funded over 100 women entrepreneurs in its first decade. Rachel Morrison became CEO of Whitfield & Company when Victoria stepped back to focus on philanthropy full-time. Jennifer Hayes married her fiancé and opened her own dental practice in Charlotte, specializing in treating low-income patients. She never forgot the second chance she was given. Dr. Marcus Whitfield worked in rural dentistry for 8 years before retiring early. He rebuilt relationships with his daughters but never remarried. He spent his later years volunteering at free clinics, trying in small ways to make amends for the damage he'd caused. Madison and Sophia Whitfield both started their own businesses, funded by their mother and guided by the lessons they learned from her example. They never made themselves smaller for anyone. Full-time. Jennifer Hayes married her fiancé and opened her own dental practice in Charlotte, specializing in treating low-income patients. She never forgot the second chance she was given. Dr. Marcus Whitfield worked in rural dentistry for 8 years before retiring early. He rebuilt relationships with his daughters but never remarried. He spent his later years volunteering at free clinics, trying in small ways to make amends for the damage he'd caused. Madison and Sophia Whitfield both started their own businesses, funded by their mother and guided by the lessons they learned from her example. They never made themselves smaller for anyone. And Victoria? She never remarried. She didn't need to. She had built something more valuable than any marriage. She had built herself. And in doing so, she showed thousands of women that the perfect smile isn't the one you wear for others. It's the one you wear when you look in the mirror and recognize the woman staring back. This is a work of fiction, but the lesson is real. Never hide your power to protect someone else's ego. Your independence is not negotiable. Thank you so much for listening to my story. Please comment if you or someone dear to you has experienced the same or similar heartbreak. Adding your comments supports this channel, but more importantly, can help others to understand and overcome their own betrayals. Please like and subscribe to help us publish more stories of strong women